The number of foreign residents in Korea is increasing. According to the Ministry of Justice, there are a total of 1.4 million foreign residents in Korea as of the end of last year. The majority of them are foreign workers and immigrant spouses. Likewise, the number of foreign students in Korea is also increasing. With the number of multicultural families rapidly on the rise, the Korean government is creating a variety of policies to help them integrate to Korean society. Last year, thanks to some changes in laws and an increase in respective budgets, support for multicultural families received a major boost. For today's issue, we will cover government policies regarding multicultural families here in Korea. And joining us today is Korea's first ever lawmaker of a multicultural background, Representative Ija스민 Lee from the ruling Saenuri Party. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Yes, good morning and thank you for having me here. It's nice to meet everyone, if that's 5 to 1. Yeah.
Well, you know, now you've been working for the multicultural community in Korea for quite some time now.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most pressing issue at the moment?
Well, actually, not only at the moment, it's been all of the time. Basically, it's for survival. Most of the problems that arises, or the misunderstandings that arises in between, you know, multicultural families and all the others, actually stems out from misunderstandings because of the language and the cultural barriers that's happening. So it's kind of that's more, all of the time, every time you ask people, it's been the pressing matter all this time. And it's something that I think even if time goes by, I've been here for 18 years, so you don't really get over it, but it subsides. As time goes by. But I think the more pressing problem as of the moment is actually the growing bias and the negative perception of the foreign people who's here actually in Korea right now.
For the first time this year, the so-called Multicultural Acceptance Index, it was put up for survey, and it showed that Korea's acceptance index was up to 50 points, which is a neutral stance. And it also showed that 36% were in favor of this multiculturalism movement. Now, compared to before, how do you, I guess, explain these new results that came out?
Well, actually, I've also seen the report, and for everyone who actually has the opportunity to be here in Korea, they would actually agree with out of the 37 inside those results, out of the 37 countries in there, Korea actually belong to the top 3 of those who thinks that bloodline or lineage is actually very important. Now, most of the threatening factors that they think that being a multicultural society per se will give us is like financial burden in the country, the criminal rates, or the problems or the social problems that a multicultural family kids will actually do in the future. Most of them are actually thinking of the future because most of the kids right now are like at a very young age. Now, the number of the foreign people in Korea is actually about 1.4 million. It's going to be more. It's going to be more for the next 8 years. They're thinking like 2% now and then 5% in the future. I mean, in the near future, that's 2020. So if you put in actually 50%, it's a neutral stance. But if you put in a positive light, it's actually, the glass is actually half full, not half empty. So it's actually, I don't think being a multicultural society right now is a choice. It is now. So yes, as I've said, the negative perception is actually growing, and the need for the awareness, the need for this to change, for a lot of people to know of the positive side of being a multicultural family is not only necessary, but is crucial.
About half of all the foreign residents in Korea are workers, and there's the issue of labor shortage as well. Some reports have said that about 240,000 new workers are needed on average per year for small-sized businesses and medium-sized businesses. So if we could talk about the rights that they have right now, the foreign workers, and maybe what they stand to gain from those benefits.
Yeah, it's actually what I wanted to work to. Actually, it's one of the it's one of my main goals to be able to work, to be able to actually work with awareness programs. It's actually been what I've been doing for the past 7 or 8 years, which is actually a difficult job. I thought I could do a lot about it if I work as, as an NGO or as an NPO. And then when I became a civil servant, associate civil servant, I thought I had opportunity to do more. But then again, I realized that those awareness programs does take time. 10 years, 20 years. You have to look forward. You have to look forward. But not a lot of civil servants, not a lot of agencies will actually work in it because it doesn't provide the numbers that they need. The results. The results that they need. They wanted the results as fast as they could so they could go up the ladder wherever they want to go up. But awareness programs doesn't really give you that much number.
Let's shift our focus on the support policies for multicultural families. Since 2010, I do believe the Multicultural Family Support Plan has been implemented by the government. Can you tell us a little bit more about this? And this is obviously to help multicultural families, expats, and foreigners alike to get more integrated with Korean society.
Yes, most of the projects that we have there is actually a healthy growing environment for the kids, of course, and the stable settlement and self-empowerment, which is actually for the multicultural families, especially the migrant wives. And of course, the most important thing that I think should be settled is actually the management and the strengthening the management of the international marriages brokerage companies, and of course the strengthening of the pre-departure verification. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard of the verification program that's been going on for the bride and the groom. It's not only for the bride itself, but also for the groom, so that they get enough information and correct information before they get to marry or they get married. There's also a lot of projects for alternative school for dropout students or for the students that I've told you about who came with their mother here from the previous marriages, and a lot of other stuff. Of course, we have been trying to implement all of these policies together with the local government, make it mandatory, and make it mandatory for each and everyone. And we just hope each of the local governments make the same policies.
What other projects do you have in mind in order to promote these cultural exchanges between, and of course understanding between Korean community and the members of the multicultural families and communities here in Korea?
It's actually the committee that I want to work with, because a lot has been thinking that it's all about education. We have to educate the people, but Korean kids has been like so full of overeducated, yeah, ever since they're young. And I don't think that having them sit in classrooms and, listen to how good multiculturalism can be is not the answer.
Get out there and experience.
Get out there, yes. We have to move a little bit further. It's the culture. We have to show it to them we have to show it through culture, through sports, and the tourism will actually just follow with it.
Representative Jasmine Lee, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
10, 15 years ago, I don't think we saw so many different people from multicultural backgrounds, but now it's very evident, and it's for sure that Korea is becoming a multicultural society, and we hope representatives like Jasmine Lee make a big difference in society, and lawmakers pass laws and bills that will help multicultural families. And that is your issue for today. You can always tweet us about your opinions and about the show at Korea Today Live.